Once upon a time, in a distant era, there lived a man who possessed great intelligence and wisdom, yet he lacked the material riches of the world. He traversed the journey from one city to another on foot. During his travels, he encountered a camel rider, a person who rode atop a camel laden with two large sacks. This rider sang as he journeyed along the road, comfortably seated upon his dual saddles. The on-foot adventurer pondered within himself.
Though I walk wearily while he rides in cheerfulness, I have found a companion with whom I can engage in conversation and share a pleasant journey through dialogue and camaraderie.
With this intent, he approached the camel rider. Greeting the rider, the on-foot adventurer spoke.
Greetings to you. While my feet may be tired, I find solace in your company. Together, we can converse and pass the time wherever our path takes us.
The camel rider replied.
I too have been singing to dispel my solitude. However, the distinction between walking and riding is negligible. In fact, walking has its merits. With no camel to tend to, there is no worry about its well-being or theft. A foot traveler doesn't contend with a runaway camel. Upon returning home, there's no concern about fodder for horses, cows, or camels. It brings comfort to the mind. As a poet aptly said, a donkeyless man knows ease, unaware of straw's caprice.
The on-foot adventurer interjected.
Your points are well taken, yet someone without a camel, burdened with loads, must carry the weight on their own shoulders. On long journeys, they must toil heavily on foot. But I don't mind walking, the thought of bearing my own load brings me satisfaction. If I were riding a camel, I'd imagine it grumbling under the load of my weight.
The camel rider chuckled, remarking,
That's an interesting perspective. However, such thoughts usually occupy those without camels. God fashioned camels to bear burdens and endure desert thorns.
The on-foot adventurer replied.
Nonetheless, I empathize with your camel. It's impressive to witness your patient camel enduring these challenging conditions along with your weight. It's as though the load you've placed upon it is more than it should bear. What's inside these sacks?
The camel rider explained.
One sack holds wheat I'm transporting from the fields. The other contains sand.
Incredulously, the adventurer inquired.
Sand? Why carry it all the way back when it's abundant in the nearby city?
The camel rider elaborated.
I don't need the sand for its utility. Since the wheat didn't suffice to occupy both sides of the saddle, I filled the other side with sand to balance the load and enable me to sit comfortably.
Amused, the adventurer chuckled and suggested.
What an innovative solution. It might have been wiser to divide the wheat into two portions, placing each within a separate sack, then securing both to the camel. The load would have been lighter, facilitating easier loading and unloading.
The camel rider, recognizing the practicality, admitted.
You've hit upon a brilliant idea that never occurred to me. You possess intelligence and wisdom beyond my imagination. You truly are a perceptive and astute individual.
I'm not so sure, it's rather simple.
Modestly responded the adventurer. Impressed, the camel rider felt compelled to know more about his companion's identity.
Pray, reveal your true role. With your intellect and insight, you must be a minister, a lawyer, or perhaps a leader of some sort. You're undoubtedly an important figure.
No, I'm an ordinary man.
Humbly stated the adventurer.
I lack exceptional knowledge. My attire reflects my simplicity, much like the common folk.
The camel rider persisted.
Surely, your wisdom has brought you substantial wealth, allowing you to luxuriate in leisure and solve problems with such ease.
I possess no riches.
The adventurer confessed.
Not a single star in the sky. In fact, I'm currently without work, accompanying you on this path, uncertain about my next meal.
The camel rider continued to probe.
You must own a shop, or if not cash, then substantial goods. A person of your intellect and acumen should be well off in content.
I own no shop.
The adventurer retorted.
If I did, I would be tending to it rather than traversing this desert. My aspirations aren't material, I find contentment in simplicity. My attire may be modest, but I work and sustain myself. Presently, I'm seeking employment in a nearby city.
You're clearly evading the truth.
Argued the camel rider.
You likely have camels, cows, sheep, and a penchant for herding. Such intellect and insight surely yield prosperity and success.
No camels, cows, or sheep, nor a shop or fortune.
The adventurer affirmed.
I possess nothing but my wisdom, health, and ability to work. While I'm currently jobless, I seek employment in the nearby town. My intelligence and wisdom guarantee me a simple existence, and nothing more.
The camel rider, taken aback, remarked.
How foolish you are! I possess 10 camels, 100 sheep, 50 cows, 2 fields, a wheat storage, numerous servants, grand respect, fine clothing, comfortable living quarters, and more. I'm well regarded in society, a member of the Reform Association. My abode houses a library, a haven for local scholars, all despite my limited intellect. You, with your insightful solutions, how is it that you remain destitute? What good is wisdom if it leads to poverty? Your intellect is of no benefit. By the way, I'm searching for laborers on my farm, yet I'm wary of you. You're clever but unskilled. It's best you distance yourself from me, as your misfortune could negatively influence me. An intellect lacking practicality is ominous and inauspicious.
The adventurer responded.
I shall depart, but your assertions reveal your own foolishness. Your possessions, acquired through wealth, do not cover your ignorance and dearth of understanding. I'd rather not resemble you. Wisdom triumphs over riches.
The adventurer then parted ways with the camel rider. Ironically, as the camel rider moved further along, 2 other camel riders, who were thieves, emerged. They inquired about the cargo on his camel. The camel rider recounted.
A short while ago, another traveler accompanied me, labeling me a fool and a wretch. His sentiment resonates, as I am indeed foolish. The sacks on my camel contain the same.
One thief drew a blade, revealing the content within a sack, sand. In response, the thieves assailed the rider, dealing him a severe blow to the head. They scolded him.
Are you genuinely imbecilic? You transported sand across the desert, when sand is abundant.
Amidst this altercation, the camel rider reflected with relief, grateful for his foolishness in loading sand. It had unintentionally safeguarded his wheat from the thieves' clutches. Subsequently, the camel rider persistently adhered to his unconventional practice, balancing wheat and sand regardless of counsel. His unique perspective brought him mirth, despite public ridicule. He continued to accumulate wealth, camels, and fields, confidently defying others' opinions with a resolute smile. In the end, the once mocked rider's idiosyncratic approach ensured the safety of his possessions, thus proving that sometimes, unconventional thinking can yield unexpected gains. In our journey through life, we encounter various individuals who may seek to belittle or ridicule us. However, choosing to ignore such mockery can lead to numerous advantages and personal growth. In a world where ridicule and mockery exist, it is essential to recognize the advantages of not giving them power over our lives. Ignoring the opinions of others allows us to cultivate emotional resilience, embrace authenticity, and empower ourselves to lead fulfilling lives. By valuing our own self-worth and focusing on personal growth, we can navigate life with confidence and compassion while fostering genuine connections with those who appreciate us for who we truly are.